All right. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to our weekly call. For any new team members, anybody who happens to catch this down the line, Matt Ham here, and I am the co-founder of an organization called Uprint, and we work on employee development and works exclusively with Red Earth Marketing to bring kind of encouragement, support, sales support, oversight, all that different stuff to the table on behalf of John and the team at Red Earth. And so we do weekly calls, and we record those so you guys can have access to them. I've got a live group here from some of our communities across the Southeast, and certainly appreciate anyone who watches this live and those who catch it on replay. I have been on a kick lately, and that kick is goal setting. I told everybody in the live calls and last week's recorded call that this time of year for me is just one of my favorite times of year. Not only because I'm kind of a sap for the traditional holiday routines, Thanksgiving, Christmas. I love nothing more than the anticipation of the new year. And I don't know if it's because I always grew up in sales and there's so much of a, end of the year kind of closing things up and expectant toward the new year. It just is who I am. And so I'm a big stickler for the end of the year routine. And over the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about kind of the way in which I engage the end of the year for me personally, and encouraging you guys to do the same. The first week we talked about choosing a word. Words are powerful. I think the words that we speak over our life have tremendous authority and power. And if we speak negative, hateful, doubtful, fearful things over our life, then chances are we're going to have kind of rotten fruit in our life. But if we speak hopeful, positive, direction to our life and our words, then it starts to bear good fruit in our lives. And so I challenged everybody to pick a word by which they would begin to see their year coming up kind of as a lens through how you're going to see your year. If you're impatient, you want to work on patience, maybe choose the word patience, right? If you're feeling this energy and you want to take more action, you could choose a word like action or go or forward. These are just ideas. This year for me, I chose the word joy. What a year to choose the word joy, 2020, because everything in the world around me has been pressing in, trying to take my joy. That's what it feels like every day this year, right? Is things are trying to take your joy from you. And I've had to learn that joy is not a feeling, and it's certainly not circumstantial. It is the byproduct of having certainty, gratitude, the byproduct of faith, and these types of things. So it's bigger than just what I had thought it to be in the past. Last week, we talked about going back and looking at the last 10 years of your life as a way to encourage yourself about all that you have accomplished. And I really put a question out there before the team, and I said, do you want to be in the same place 1 year from now? Most folks say no. Well, if you say, no, I don't want to be in the same place, then there's certain things that you're going to have to do, certain actions you're going to have to take. We talked about being a person of intention, right? Doing things on purpose. In order to do things on purpose, you have to have a direction, right? You have to have vision, set goals, get real granular with your goals and work them out. And so I want to continue along that path with this goal setting narrative and press in with you guys and talk about the most important aspect of goal setting. The most important aspect of goal setting, and actually I would say the most important aspect of your life, is uncovering your why. This is the entire reason why we founded the organization that we co-founded, my business partner Kevin and I. We founded Uprint as a way to help people uncover or discover their why. This is a common thing that people talk about. A lot of times it might feel like it's this thing out in the ether, your why, your purpose. But I think that the key to true fulfillment, true joy, true direction is to begin to deeply understand your why. And that is the underpinning or the bedrock of your life that you get to move on as you continue to move forward. And, going back to kind of old philosophical thought, we like to quote people who are dead now. That's just something that we do, right? But Friedrich Nietzsche was a German philosopher and a kind of a oddball, honestly. I didn't really agree with a lot of his philosophies on life, but he said one thing that I think is incredibly powerful, and it has great impact on what we're talking about today. And this is what Nietzsche said. He said, "He who has a why can bear any how." He who has a why can bear any how. What he's saying there is if your why is strong enough, if your purpose is strong enough, if your vision is strong enough, that anything that's thrown your way, you are going to have a natural, advantage in that situation because your why is strong enough. So the how of life does not matter nearly as much as the why. Simon Sinek, who's kind of more of a modern philosophical business kind of leader guy, wrote a bunch of books about leading with why, and he did a great TED Talk. You guys may have seen it about living from the why. And so this is a common thing out there, but I want to kind of take a different spin on it, which is what we do. You know, our organization, Uprint, was basically founded off of the idea of a why, and we used a thumbprint in order to distinguish that. You look on all of our websites, all of our branding, it has a thumbprint as our logo. And it's interesting because of the 6 billion people on the earth, your thumbprint is unique to you. So is your why. And that's why we call it a U-print. A U-print is the encompassing idea of your purpose, your geographic locations, your history, all of the different things, your gifts, talents, passions, they all add up to this thing, this fingerprint that you get to leave on the world. And most people don't stop to truly consider, what kind of fingerprint am I going to leave on the world? One of the challenging questions we put out there when we first engage with folks is, what will have mattered about your life 1,000 years from now? And, you know, a lady was joking the other day. She's like, I don't even know what's going on this weekend, much less think about 1,000 years down the road. But in order to see big things, you have to have big vision. In order to achieve big things, you have to have big vision. So we press folks to think outside of the current boxes that you're in and really think about it. Now, here's the challenge to this. A lot of people can't go there because of their current circumstances or pain or what we call strongholds. It's things that have happened to you. It's things you're currently walking through. It's thought patterns that you're stuck in. It's habits and routines that you're stuck in. It can be addictions. It can be all different kinds of things. People get stuck in these routines and they are not living their best life. They are living their routines. And so usually it takes some type of pain or obstacle or moment where people have that, recognition or awakening, as you call it, right? And that's what causes them to kind of get stirred up. And so the one thing that's the most difficult part of my life and my business is I hate seeing people have to hit rock bottom or a difficult moment for them to wake up to their why. But the truth is that's what it takes for most people to really begin to live in this thing and to start to thrive in it. And so I just want to challenge us today is as we think about 2021, I would ask you, why? Why did you get in the real estate business? More specifically, why did you decide to sell at the community that you're at right now? And most folks, again, don't pause to ask themselves these questions. But you have to ask yourself why. Now, I think the why has a dualistic purpose. And so the first one I've been talking about why. This is the more ethereal why are you here, your purpose and all that kind of stuff. You have to figure those things out. Those are things that I can work individually with you on. That's the work that we do. That's sometimes, like I said, discovery work. You have to remove some of the old past pains and strongholds, start thinking differently. And then when you do that, you get to start to live in a new and refreshed, renewed way. That's that awakening thing. But the other part of this is the simplistic why is, why did you get in the real estate business? I mean, why do you do the things you do? For most people in the real estate business, they got into the real estate business for 3 reasons. 1, they love being around people. They love helping people. 2, there's flexibility and freedom in their schedule. And 3, they can make good money doing it. I dare say that there are many real estate agents who are in real estate for any other reason than those 3. There might be some peripheral reasons, but those are probably the 3 driving factors, right? You love being around people. You love helping people. You love the freedom and flexibility of your schedule, right? And then you love the opportunity to make money. And so when it boils down to it, you have to remember why you got in the business in the first place. And really do some soul searching to say, am I still in the game? Is my heart still in it for those reasons? Do I still care about helping people? Do I still care about, walking with people, being in a relationship with people? Do I still care about the flexibility of my schedule? And do I still care about the ability to influence my own income? I would challenge everybody on the call, everybody watching on replay, is ask yourself those 3 questions. And if the answer is yes, yes, and yes, then let's start to define that. Let's start to put structure around it. Let's start to build goals around it. And when you tie that into your greater why, the underpinning thing, you become an uncompromising force that just drives forward. Because you have the why. You remember why you get up every day. You remember why. You remember the fact that when you got Mr. Smith and he's giving you a hard time about contracts, that you know what? But this is why I'm here, is to help people. And helping people is often messy. And you got to get into the mud with people in order to help them, right? You can't pull a guy out of a mud pit without probably getting a little bit of mud on you. So quit throwing a fit. I'm not talking to anyone directly, but quit throwing a fit about getting mud on you when you said you wanted to help people. You said you wanted to help people. Well, they got a little bit of mud on them and it gets a little bit on you. That's just part of helping people, right? So you have to reset your mind when you step into these things, right? You said you wanted flexibility in your schedule, but you're complaining that you got to be in on Saturday, because you're covering a shift, or you've got like a weekend. There's a parade of homes or something like that. Well, guess what? You didn't have to come in on Tuesday. Your Tuesday was off. You remember what you did Tuesday? You were able to go out in nature or go over on a one-night overnight thing. If you're a dental hygienist, you're not going to be able to do that outside of taking a vacation day. And it interrupts the whole schedule for the office, and you got to trade hours. The other day, and guys, this is something for me too. Listen. Why did I start a faith and personal development organization? Well, it's for similar reasons, right? I really love helping people. I absolutely love helping people. I love the freedom and flexibility of owning a company. And the financial opportunity there is the sky's the limit kind of thing, right? Now, I have deeper things and other things that pour into why I do this from a spiritual standpoint in my own life. But ultimately, those 3 things are great things. So here's my deal, though. The other day, I was getting really frustrated at being a business owner. Because as a real estate agent, you are a business owner, but at the same time, you're kind of not a business owner, right? You're kind of the CEO of one. You oversee your own deal, but it's not necessarily independent. Now, I was a salesperson for almost 20 years of my life, and I thought that I was, this great businessman until I had to go and start a business. And I'm having to worry about invoices, and I'm having to worry about chasing down payments, and I'm having to worry about, credit card billing malfunctions. I'm having to worry about all these different things that I had never had to worry about as a salesman. Now I'm having to do it, and I was kind of grumpy about it, and I was complaining about it. And I took the morning yesterday, and I went out toward the beach north of where we live. It's a little bit less populated, and I was walking along kind of the waterway, and I just said, you know what? I am thankful that this morning I can be out here walking along the waterway, and I didn't have to go punch a clock somewhere. And it was like a light bulb moment for me. I was like, that's why I got into this business in the first place, is the freedom. So I can't have my cake and eat it too. The freedom that I desire comes with a little bit of sacrifice, and the sacrifice is always worth the freedom. So when you're thinking about your why and tapping back into why did you get in the business? To help people, flexibility and schedule. Every time you run into an obstacle with those two things, remember the why. Like, oh, that's right. I really want to help people. I'm somebody who wants to help people, so I'm going to have to put up with their junk sometimes. I'm going to get a little bit of mud on me, right? Yeah, I'm going to have to work a few Saturdays or whatever the case might be. Always remind yourself the why. Now, the final thing that I would tell you here is the why of financial independence, financial freedom. If that's a big deal for you, and it probably is, because probably I would say 90% of the people who get in the real estate business love the idea that they are able to influence their income. Do you guys get what I'm saying when I say that? You're able to influence your income. You know, when I was in the insurance business, I had a lady that worked with me, for me, and quite frankly, she did most of the work. Her name was Misty, and Misty was fantastic. We had a great relationship. But the thing that killed me about Misty is that no matter how hard she worked, no matter what she put into it, you know, I tried to appreciate her. I tried to bless her in many other ways. But because the organization paid her salary, she could not influence her income by any more than 4% a year, because a 4% raise was the highest raise the company would allow. And so we gave her a 4% raise every year because she was fantastic. But can you imagine waking up every day and giving 1,000% in your days and knowing that it could only influence your income by 4%? Most of you chose to be in this profession, I would dare say, because you didn't want to be in that profession. Again, if you were a dental hygienist or an office manager or worked at a McDonald's or, you know, were in some type of an accounting role, I mean, you don't have the ability to influence your income anywhere close to the way you have to influence your income now in real estate. But with that reward comes certain risks and certain requirements and expectations in order to do it. And so I would really challenge you all is, you know, if you want to live beyond your financial circumstances, if you want to move the needle for your family to provide, you know, whether it's for your kids going to college, you know, whether it's a vacation home that you want to spend some time with, maybe you have a charity or a nonprofit that you want to bless. Maybe you have a passion for the youth and you want to go on a summer trip with the youth on a mission trip or in some type of like camp environment. I don't know, but like, y'all, the sky is the absolute limit. You can do whatever it is that you want to do by being in this real estate profession. But you're going to have to put up with the realities of the real estate business. And the interesting thing is that we are at a moment in time when we're looking to restart in 2021. You have the Great Reset. One of the most dynamic things built into American culture is the new year. Whether you want to or not, the new year is coming. And everybody's in that mindset of stepping into the new year. But one of the things that I know about the communities that you guys are in is that a lot of the obstacles from last year have been removed. A lot of the excuses have been removed. I was talking with John about a couple of the communities, and he said inventory is getting ready to explode. We've got new sections opening. We've got new specs coming out of the ground. We have new opportunities coming forth that all of the things that we've been waiting on, you know, they're here and they're coming. And so I think we're in a moment for you all where the excuses have to be put aside. And you have to say, why did I get in the business anyway? Why am I getting out of bed each morning? What is my why? What is that thing that I'm about? And I'm going to get up every day and I am going to go after it with the entirety of my heart, with the entirety of my life in a focused and constant direction. And that is going to help move the needle on the things that I say I'm about and want to be about. And that is a dynamic opportunity. I think that right now we are at one of the most opportunistic times in the history of certainly my life and probably like even in my parents, that generation. I mean, it's incredible right now for the people who are ready to come alive and move forward and pour everything they have into it. I think right now the opportunity is incredible. And especially in real estate, you still have the transfer of wealth going on. With all that's been going on, I think a lot of people are looking to get out of the big city dynamics, and they're looking to get to this different way of life. And these master plan communities offer such a dynamic thing. And when you come out of the gate with a vision, with direction, and then you tie your why into that, and you've got joy, and you are going, I'm telling you guys, y'all can do some incredible things. But nothing happens until you commit your heart to it, not your mind, until you put your heart into it. That is the difference maker. And so you guys in this moment, I think, have an opportunity, and it's a great one. And my role is to help hold you accountable to the things you say you want to do. As I told you last week, I'm not a guy that gets paid on how many sales you make. So I'm not the slave driver here going, you better sell more because I'm going to fill up my pockets. That ain't the way this works. I am genuinely here to help you guys be everything you say you want to be. And if what you say you want to be is, what I would say average or mediocre, then hey, own it. Say this is where I want to be. And as long as everybody in the decision-making booth signs off on that, then do what you said you're going to do. But very few people ever dream about being average and mediocre. The question is are you willing to get beyond the things that have been holding you back to truly step into it and be the excellent, world-changing, culture-shifting person that I know you want to be deep down? And so that's where I come in to hold you guys accountable to this and walk along with you when the obstacles do come up, because they will come up. But they don't have to get you off track. The obstacles are only intended to make you better and prepare you greater through the process. So again, this ties in with the goal-setting things of tying the why. Get back to the heart of why you got in the business and why you're here in the first place. Let that be a bedrock, an underpinning for you. And then on top of that, throw in the thing we talked about, picking a word. Break down your goals from yearly into monthly, into quarterly, to monthly, to weekly, and even into daily. And then begin to commit your heart to stepping into these things on a consistent basis. And don't let anything stand in your way and anything come in your path. Like Nietzsche said, he who has a why can bear any how. So you guys have a great opportunity ahead of you. We've got a couple of weeks leading up to Christmas, so you've got some time to prepare. But this 2021 begins now. It begins with your willingness to commit your heart, your willingness to press into your why, your willingness to set goals. And so right now is the moment in time for you guys to step in, and I am absolutely here to help you guys do that. As always, if you need to reach out to me, matt@uprint.life, YOUPRINT.LIFE. My cell is 910-619-4644. You guys have a fantastic week, and I look forward to walking with you guys through this.